Hello, this is Maths Made Simple, and this is a video on finding percentages of the whole numbers. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. So firstly, we're going to find for each of the following numbers, uh, we're going to find 10%, 20%, 5%, and 1%. So first off, we're going to start with 150. Now, the first thing we need to do is to find 10%, and the rule to find 10% is we divide by 10. However, you can simply do this another way by saying that 150 equals 100%, and then if we want to get 10% here, what we just say, to get from 100% to 10%, we'll divide by 10. Yeah, so to get 10% of 150, we therefore divide by 10. So 150 divided by 10 is 15. As when we divide by 10, we move our decimal point, which is here, one place to the left. Okay. Now we have our 10%. We can simply use this as a base to get our other numbers. So we now want 20%, and to get from 20%, to get from 10% to 20% for multiplication, we times by 2, and therefore we simply do the same to 15 times by 2. 15 times by 2 is 30. Yeah, so actually 20%. To get 5%, then again, we've got two options here. We can use our 10% or we can use our 20%. So I'm going to use our 20% here. So to get from 20 to 5 division, we do 20 divided by 4, which equals 5. Yeah, and we simply do 30 divided by 4 here. So 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. Okay, now you could also get the answer by simply doing, so if you want to do 10%, to get to 5%, we divide by 2. And if you do 15 divided by 2, you also get 7.5. Okay, now 1%. Yeah, we can use any one of these as our base. So I'm going to use 5%. So to get from 5% to 1%, we divide by 5. And therefore we do 7.5 divided by 5, which is 1.5. Okay. So next question, 80. So therefore, to divide by 10 to get 10%, so 80 divided by 10 equals 8. So 10% equals 8. Yeah. To get 20%, we can use our 10% as our base. And to get from 10% to 20%, we times by 2. And from 8 times 2 equals 16. Yeah, so actually 20%. And to get our 5%, we can use 20% as a base or our 10% as a base. I'm going to use 10% here just to demonstrate it. So to get from 10% to 5%, we divide by 2. Obviously 10 divided by 2 is 5. Therefore, simply apply the same logic here. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Okay. And now to get 1%, we have 10% To get from 10% to 1%, we divide by 10. Therefore, I'm going to do the same here. 8 divided by 10 equals 0.8. Okay? So 0.8 is 1% of 80. Yep. Next question, we have 175. Again, I'm just going to say 175 equals 100%. Now to get our 10%, simply do 100 divided by 10, and we apply the same logic here. 175 divided by 10, move the decimal point one place to the left, and it's 17.5. Yeah. And now to get 20%, we do 10 times 20, sorry, 10 times 2 equals 20. And we therefore apply the same logic here. 17.5 times 2, which equals 35. And to get our 5%, we're going to do 10% divided by 2. Therefore, we're going to do 17.5 divided by 2, which is 8.75. And to get our 1%, we're going to do 10% divided by 10, which equals 1. Therefore, 17.5 divided by 10 equals 1.75. We simply move the decimal point one place to the left. Okay. Therefore, we have 175. We worked out 10%, 20%, 5%, and 1%. Okay. Now, final question, we have 20. So, again, to get 10% of a number, we divide it by 10. So 20 divided by 10 is 2. So 2 equals 10%. Okay. And to get 20%, we're going to simply times 10% by 2. Therefore, we're going to do 2 times 2, which is 4. To get 5%, we are simply going to, two options here. We can do 10% divided by 2, which is 5%. Therefore, you divide 2 by 2, which is 1. Or we can do 20% divided by 4 to get 5%. Therefore, you do 4 divided by 4 is 1. So either way, you get 1 both times, which you should do, otherwise it'd be incorrect. Yeah, and then to get 1%, we are simply going to do 10% divided by 10. And I'm going to do 2 divided by 10, which is 0.2, as we move our decimal point one place to the left. Okay, hope that helps. Now, if for example we wanted to find, let's say we wanted to find 36%, so we'd simply do 10%, add 20%, add 5%, add 1%. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, 10 add 20 is 30, add 5 is 35, add 1 is 36%. Yeah, and therefore your 10% equals, worked out to be 2, 20% equals 4, your 5% equals 1, and your 1% equals 0.2. So we'd simply just add them up here. 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is 7, plus 0.2, which is 7.2, yeah. Or if we wanted to do 6%, we'd simply add 5% and 1%, so 1 plus 0.2, which is 1.2, yeah. So we've got all these, so we can do a number of different combinations, finding the percentages of whole numbers. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks again.